Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with the other host,
Tristan Walter.
And Tristan Walter. Today we are doing Doctor Who.
You mean Tears and Time Travel?
It was okay. I don't know. I'm kidding. So thankfully I've had some time to calm down. No, thankfully I had time to calm down because when I first saw it, there was so much running through my head that, I don't know, maybe I don't I don't do the outrage thing the way other people do.
I don't have time for outrage.
I do. That's the problem. I think the problem is that, when shows do outrage, they think that it will keep people watching. And for me, granted, I say this as I still watch wrestling and Doctor Who, but I feel like it isn't it's a watching despite that. So in other words, I feel as if stuff like this turns people away more than it does keeping them. Because, look, I'm fine with, we have to have a way to write off Bill. I'm okay with writing off characters. I just feel as if, and granted, look, at the end she didn't die, which is something good. That's what I wanted. But I feel like if you were going to go there anyway, it just feels so, I don't know, it just felt like it was, okay, remember when season 1 happened and everyone said, the finale to series 1, it was such Deus Ex Machina bullshit. And it just felt like a complete, let's just write this off because clearly the Doctor, it just happens just for the Doctor, just the way that, exactly that way. And, that's all, right? In this case, it just felt like things happened just because around the end of the second, because we're doing 11 and 12 now. So it felt like at the end of everything, and I know we have to talk about the beginning too, of course, but I just felt so weird because it started off with something I didn't like. Then as it went on, it started to grow on me, and I was like, you know what? I was a bit too harsh, and I said that to you. I think I said that to you, Tristan. If I didn't, then I'm saying it to you now. I think that I was a bit too harsh in my original commentary of it. That I was just texting Tristan so this sucks, and it got better. But then all of a sudden at the end, I'm not referring to the first Doctor, by the way. I'm referring to everything before him because that was glorious. But when it comes to what happened with Bill and her, I guess, girlfriend at this point, her special friend. Because, again, unsure if girlfriend because they didn't really explore that. They just said, hey, let's travel together, and you thought I was cute. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's cool, but it still felt weird. And then she's just not dead, just because. Granted, I understand some of the space stuff. That made sense. But I still feel as if that it just happened because it was well, of course we weren't going to kill her off. And it's good, but then you did this. I don't know. I feel like even though I've calmed down, I'm still very apathetic, and it's still kind of bullshit with what Moffat did to and with Bill. And now we have no more Bill, apparently. If we get her back next series, that's cool. And then you fuck me, right? I'll apologize. But as of right now, it looks like this was just a way to write off the character and the actress who we were all loving.
Yes.
And that's it. And by the way, please, I want everyone to remember, I hated when they did this shit with Clara too. It was either kill them or don't. Don't kill someone and then say, never mind, they're not dead, and then say, and we're never bringing them back. Although there are some rumors that she's coming back at Christmas, but let's not discuss that right now. I want to have a good time.
Blows a fucking gasket.
But, yeah, right. I want to have a good time on this podcast. But you see my point, though, right, Tristan? We could talk about some of the fun stuff.
That sounds like a great way to start it off. I want to have fun on this podcast.
No. So let's not talk about Clara's return. Mind you, a character that I like It's just, again, are you going to kill her or are you not? Oh, you're going to, bring her, like, not kill her and then be like, and then we'll never see her again. And then bring her back on Christmas.
I feel like that's the idea.
Yeah.
Like, behind Bill, basically. Because I had watched this, with our friend Anthony Toto, and I felt like he brought up the good point of, like, he really likes Bill as a companion too, so he's sad to see her go as well. But he brought up the good point of, this gives whoever comes in next a completely clean slate. Granted, I mentioned that Bill and Clara's characters are different in the sense that you can have a new doctor and a new writer and a whole, writing staff, whatever, come in and still keep Bill, because the stuff that has been established for her character, there's nothing like story breaking about her that, there's nothing that can't just carry over, and you can build on her character very easily. So in this case, it doesn't feel like you don't need to reboot the companion because she's still a clean slate. But at the same time, it just gives the new staff a completely whole new thing to go with.
And you know what my thing is? I actually like when that happens. I'm cool with that. My problem is that my problem is this, right? Well, no. I like it, but when you look, here's my problem, right? Again, I've talked about the fact over and over and over and over, so I don't want to talk about her much because she wasn't even fucking in these 2 episodes. But when you give Clara Oswald that much time, and then you have a character like Bill who's, groundbreaking, but most importantly, likable, right? Mm-hmm. Because, yes, it matters that she's groundbreaking, but if she was, which she is, African-American and lesbian, but also made to just be this terrible person that we're supposed to hate, then it'd be like, wait, no, that's not good. Like, that's not good representation. First time you ever have a character like this and then you hate her, fuck that, right? Like, that's not good. So it is good that, she's an all-around great character, and also, by the way, of course, very strong as well. I mean, her shooting the doctor was such an amazing moment. And I know it wasn't in these past 2 episodes, but although I will admit I think she should have shot him again. But it was an amazing moment when she shot the doctor.
Technically
like,
he
for her
did.
Character.
She did.
No, yeah, technically. No, I'm just saying that. No, look, all I'm trying to say, right,
You asked me for Dad!
Is that, fair enough. But, sorry, I saw myself the other day. The time stream is a little weird, but out of sync. So I'm just saying that when it comes to this character, if you had given her a series, like another one, or like a half a series more, then I think I would have been like, you know what, yes, she's had her time, just like Clara, just like the others. But I think it's just so fucking frustrating. Like, it feels like, in a way, and I'm not trying to put this on Moffat at all. I'm not trying to say anything against him personally. I don't know him. I'm not trying to say anything negative about him. But it feels like this character was put in, unless we see her again, right, as like just a token character, like, well, you'll get your diversity, and then we'll move the fuck on. Like, we'll have Amy, we'll have you going on forever, we'll have Clara going on forever, and then here's your small little pie of diversity, and then we're just gone. And I'm not saying that that's what they wanted to do, and I'm not, again, putting this on Moffat. I'm not trying to put this on the BBC. I'm just trying to say that you put in a character like this, one that people are liking, one that is fresh, one that is new, fresh for many different reasons. And to then just say, yeah, no, it's time now. It's like, well, why did we have to have Series 8? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we had so much time with so many different specials with Clara. You know what I'm saying? Like, why did it take that long?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And
like,
thankfully,
again,
by the way,
I would love to see more of Bill as a companion too.
Yeah.
And but in a way,
and by the way, I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go. No, you go.
No, I mean, I
know.
lost my thought.
You were saying you. Oh, it's okay. Have you seen yourself recently? That might do it. Depending on the timeline.
Actually, twice now.
By the way,
I think something
twice
terribly
now.
wrong.
Yeah. So I will say that the Two Masters, in a way, are the some of the best stuff of these 2 episodes. One thing I want to mention, though, before we get into that, though, is that thankfully, though, Bill didn't die, because I have to admit, though, if she died, I would have sat back and been like, so this is just another bad treatment of a black character on Doctor Who. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, so this is just bad, because like. I'm sorry. I know I'm not saying that some white characters haven't been put through similar situations where, like, you look at Mickey and then someone's first thought could be like, "Hey, Rory exists," and it's like that's true, right? For Mickey, there is also Rory, but then it just got weird when we had Martha, right?
Yeah.
Because like there is no Moffat equivalent of Martha unless you say it's Bill, in which case it's like, why are the black women the transitional, oh God, the Doctor just experienced heartbreak. Granted, 12 can't remember the heartbreak, but still, like, which, by the way, 12 can't remember Clara. That is confirmed, right? Because when she appeared in the flashback, I was like, that's for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because everyone's
weird.
Doctor. Mm-hmm.
He remembers the idea of her, but nothing about her.
Yeah, but you know what? And that's really, like, okay.
Like,
as much as I love this plot this season,
going to where they were, but he doesn't remember. Like, she's not there in the memory. He can't see her. He can't hear her.
Okay.
It's weird.
Because that would be, because honestly, I would have loved a full season. And it's funny because I just said, or at least a full special or like 2 episodes. As much as I just said I wanted less Clara, I still would have loved the Doctor going, why is this part of my life completely fucking missing?
Yeah.
Who did this to me? Wouldn't have that been nice? Now, granted, I wouldn't have wanted tacked on the Bill. That would have been terrible. But It would have been nice, again, if we would have taken, like, if you said, no, Bill has to appear in the last series, fine then. Again, cut out 1 series with Clara, or at least half of it, have this shit happen to her, and then have the Doctor take a series or half a series being companionless, but wondering, why is there a giant chunk of my memory missing? Because it's kind of interesting to think about it, the way you described it. You're like, no, I think he might remember the idea of her, and then it just hit me. Like, wow, literally everything about Clara is missing. Therefore, all of those things happened in his head. He's like, no, all of it did happen. I just don't remember if there was a person there with me. And it's like, wait, that's not. If there's one thing that the Doctor is, it's inquisitive. If there's, like, the Doctor doesn't sit there and go, you know what, I'll accept that as fact. I don't know, maybe. But still, we're getting into stuff that we probably, should have talked about in Series 9's shit. So talking about this right now, right? It's just so strange to me that, that they have Bill on for only 1 series. And again, if she had died, I would have straight up thought that it was just another, it's funny. I want to say African American because you and I are American. But
right,
it's like,
they're not.
No, you're not.
They're all British.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? You're not African American if you are a black person living in Britain.
Right.
But seriously, though, so, because, look, you have Mickey, and then you have Martha, and then for some odd reason they got together, and I was like, that's weird. And then we move, and then I can't think of another black character?
I mean, I don't know, like, character-wise, not talking about, ethnicity aside and all that, but, like, character-wise, to me, at least, it felt like Mickey and Martha were a decent fit just because, A, they have been out into the universe, they've seen all the different things. I mean, hell, if there was anyone that I wanted to see get, like, a spin-off with, like, Unit, I wanted to see Martha, like, running Unit, because goddamn.
Oh, no, that's obvious. No, that's obvious. Yeah, no, of course. I'm just saying, and that's where we could have developed it more. or that's where we could have
Yeah.
showed it like existing more. But like
Right.
because it was just like Davies wrapping up his run, it was just like, oh, okay, just the two black people just getting
Well,
together,
right.
cool.
And I feel
Because
Mickey
we've never
has
seen them on
also
screen
been,
together.
Yeah. Right.
That's all I'm saying. Because like we never saw them
Okay.
on screen together until that exact moment, I believe.
Right.
That's all I was saying. Because I think when we saw her again, because I think we saw her with Donna, I think, because they visited UNIT and then Martha worked there, I believe, right? When we saw her again, I think she just had
it was
some unnamed
at
boyfriend.
the very end, I think.
Yeah. She didn't say, "Oh yeah, I'm dating this guy. His name's Mickey." Because obviously that would
No,
be like,
because
"Oh shit," right?
I think it was after all of that happened.
Yeah. But anyway.
And it was when
But still, jumping.
you
yeah.
only see them together is when Ten is coming back and he's saying his goodbyes to everybody.
Yeah. Now I understand if someone says, "Well, we needed to put people together because we couldn't just show him saying goodbye to Mickey randomly separately." Also, we've never seen. We saw Mickey's house like once, right? So I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like it was weird to just do that to the only two black characters at the time, just being like, "Yeah, they're just dating." And it's just like, cool. And then of
I
course
just
as
meant
you
to
go
say
on
that
throughout
it felt
the rest
like
of the
they
show,
had more in common.
Oh, you're very right. I just wanted to see it because when you don't see it, it's kind of like,
Okay.
oh, yeah. No,
I mean,
you're not
they were
wrong.
both left.
And I'm sure that they're
like not left, but the doctor kind of screwed
I
them
think
over
if they were
romantically, both each of them. It's like, hey, funny, that happened to you too, huh?
Doctor took my girlfriend. I wish I was the girlfriend he took. Aw? Question mark. But and so I'm just saying that like when you don't see it on screen, we're fan canoning it right now.
Okay.
Unless there's books about it, then fuck me, right? But I haven't seen any books or any audio plays about it, so as of right now, it's more fan canon to me. Granted, all good points, and they're right. You're not wrong. It's just that they're fan canon, and more importantly, I can't remember a black character since. Granted, yes, we had the Time Lady. It was the man who he ended up regenerating. When the doctor was like,
right.
"Which one are you on?" Yes. But that's all. Like, there's her, and granted, look, I don't know about any stats. Because sometimes people try to say, "Oh, well, the reason why this country doesn't have this type of person in their media is because you look at the stats, there aren't that many type of person in that country or whatever." But still, like, it's just strange to me that we've had a lot of characters who are, not well. I understand there's a heavy Indian population in the UK, which makes sense that anytime they show a future version of the UK, there is an Indian person in charge as either their prime minister or their ambassador or something like that. That makes sense, right? We sadly don't have that many Asian people shown. However, thankfully, we got some Asian representation in the that space station episode, Sleep No More,
Right.
with the eye crushed monsters.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying that like we don't usually have black characters, or if we do, they're already dead. I now remember the ghost, one of the ghosts, like he immediately died.
Right.
And so like I just sit back and like we don't get that many. And in this case it's like at first my first thought was, "Oh God, we got a black character and she just straight out died." And that's it. Like, what the fuck? And thankfully she isn't dead. But the Cyberman struggle was just weird to me. I want to know what you felt about the struggle because I understood it from the storyline perspective, but I think you said it hit you harder than it hit me.
Oh, that Bill had been turned into a Cyberman, or?
Yeah, well, like her struggle generally in this body and people hating her. Like I think you mentioned that it resonated more with you and you felt worse about it than I did.
Well, I mean, I felt like just the fact that the doctor had put that message, the message in Bill's head of, wait for me. I'll come and get you, I promise, You trust me, right? I will come and get you. And I think it's the fact that even the Master points out, well, you two, while you were running your mouth upstairs, it's been 10 years down here, and oh gosh darn it, you missed her by 2 hours. Granted that, time moving faster in the back, or at the, time going faster at the bottom of the ship rather than the top, a miscalculation on the Doctor's part. But it was just the idea that you missed her by 2 hours. You told her she waited. And even she, in the Cybermen armor comes out and says, I waited. And just kind of the look of horror on his face of, oh God, I fucked up again. It's like, they even have the conversation,
right,
which I loved. It was just Bill and 12 sitting having chips together, and that was such a lovely conversation. But, she's like, this is a horrible plan. We can't take Missy out and, have her gallivant as you, just to see if she's quote-unquote good now. He's like, why not? Because we might get killed. Well, you could do that walking out of your apartment every morning. Yeah, but this is different. This is like staring at the jaws of death in the face and being like, as long as I don't take another step forward, it's not like I'm going to fall in or anything. It's like, you'll keep me safe, right? Within reason. Okay.
No, what I loved to death just, Missy's a murderer. Do you like your bacon? It had a family. It had a mommy and daddy, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Because it's not even like the Doctor's vegan. It's just this idea of like, and I know, like, obviously, it's like, well, people be like, "Oh, human life and whatever," but like the Doctor is so like above everything that to him he's just like, oh, and of course, like, we should also think about animals too in that regard. Now, granted, I'm not saying if you eat a pig you should kill someone, but just this idea of like, oh no, but that's human life versus all this other life. It's just like, no, like life is life. So it's just, I loved it so much. Just like, but she's a murderer. It's like, do you like your bacon sandwich? Yeah. Oh my God, that pig had a mommy and daddy, and I was like, oh damn, Doctor, oh damn. But no. I was trying to say that I thought you mentioned like a lot of tears and crying. I thought like the idea of her being a monster, like it hurt you. Like you were like, oh, that's sad. Where I, on the other hand, did not. I thought it was sad, but I was more upset in other ways.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, that was more at the end, like when they're doing the last standoff.
Oh, okay, got it.
And the Doctor, and then with Bill going through what she did, and
yeah, of course, I understand.
Last fight.
You're exactly.
And then even
okay,
I mean, even with Missy and her previous incarnation, this is how it was always supposed to end. Myself shooting me in my own foot.
In the back, literally in the back.
Yeah, right, in the back.
But, oh yeah, so, oh God, I can't even, because if I talk about them, I'll just never stop talking about them. So let's just focus, on Bill just for a second, again, as we have been. The reason why I didn't like that, though, is for one reason and one reason only, and this is a problem with Doctor Who overall, so it's not a problem necessarily with Moffat as a writer. It's just this problem with Doctor Who as a whole. When you have, it's like, my brain and my body, whatever, has been transferred into the body of a Cyberman, right? This is who I am. This is what I am. It is weird to me that the Doctor is like, oh no, there's nothing I can do. Because, like, yes, it's like, well, he said he could do something, but apparently he lied, according to him. He's like, no, I lied about it. It's like, wait a minute, Doctor. Wait a fucking minute.
I think it was
You're
more
telling me.
He was like, I didn't lie. But she goes, but were you right? And he's like, no. He thought he could do something.
But that's the problem. But that's the thing, though. It's kind of like Doctor. There's a fucking universe out there, and there literally is from the beginning of the universe till the end of the universe. You literally gave Nardole another body. See, that's the problem. When you give a man another body, It feels like you can give other people a body. Granted, he technically didn't work from the ground up. He had a skull.
His head
and
was
he had
still intact. Whereas Cybermen,
but you and I,
your brain gets,
yeah,
or at least I'm not sure about the process for the Modesian Cybermen, because it seemed like for them, and I haven't seen the episodes of Classic with them. I've only seen like a clip here and there, but like it seemed like the idea was they were slowly like replacing parts. Like Bill only started out with a heart, and then, you have to add more and more parts until you're slowly taking away what's left of being human, and all that's left of you is machine.
Yes. I'm just trying to say that, in a world where there's living plastic, I just feel as if there is so much that could have been done to be like, listen, you still have a brain. I think I can make this work. I don't know how. I don't know how, but I think I could have, I could make this work. That's just my take on it. I would have preferred them focusing on the fact that what if you can't, or what if we survive this? What if we don't survive this? Rather than, oh God, even if we do, I'll never turn back. It's just you guys live in such a fucking large universe that, again, you can also go to any time of said universe. The fact that you can't just buy a human body, like a replacement, of course. Good God, no. I'm not saying you should buy, it's well, we'll just gut a real person. No. But the fact that you can't buy a replacement body, the fact that there isn't a 3D printing version of the human body.
Yeah.
It's it wouldn't be her body. But look what they fucking did to Nardole. That's the problem when, now I can sort of blame Moffat a little bit. Because, you literally gave Nardole a body in the same series that you said, oh no, we can't give Bill a body. And also, you didn't even reference Nardole. Nardole wasn't but you helped me. And I was well, it's a bit different. It's just the kind of thing where it's so wait.
All right, so it's a cop-out.
No. I'm just saying that, I think that they tried to focus too hard on that emotional heartstring, I think, where, oh no, she'll never go back, when it's just kind of but she potentially, really, she can't ever go back with all the things that the Doctor's ever done. That's my only problem with it. However, I want to say that the actress, Pearl Mackie, I love her to death. Because I don't know if you noticed, but while she was a Cyberman, and because, of course, it jumped between her and the person in the Cyberman costume, when she was a Cyberman, she walked like one.
Right.
So whenever she moved, she didn't, move her arms up and down crazily. She didn't emote much. Obviously her face, yes. But when she would walk, she would step like a Cyberman, like a robot.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful. It's something that not many people may have been able to notice. I'm trying to make myself sound like I'm so much better. Oh, I noticed it. It was a little fine little thing. No, but sometimes it might be hard to notice when, you're so caught up in everything. But I think because I wasn't, I was just sitting there
to be fair, I didn't notice. But now that you pointed out, yeah, you're definitely right. And that is a nice touch.
Yeah, I loved it so much. I don't know if it was suggested to her or if she took it on. Regardless, she was able to do it, and it was a beautiful thing. And I think it was very cool to do that. Because when I saw her move, I was like, why is she not just walking? Right, she is a Cyberman. Cyberman does whatever a cyber can. Can it feel? No, it can't. It's just a circuit board, and it wants to upgrade you. Look out. Here comes your evolution. On that note, we have to go to the Masters because I can't.
I wish you had.
We can focus on Bill for. What? Claps?
Yeah.
Do I have applause? Let me see. But anyway, so yeah, you talk about the Master. I'll find applause.
Okay. Well, the one last thing I wanted to mention for Bill, I kind of felt like it was out of left field that I think it was it Sarah? I can't remember now. I feel bad now, but the other, other character
Kate
that comes out.
Kate,
there we go. Really? Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, But it was like nice to see something come back for Bill, or someone come back for Bill, and the idea that now she can travel with her because they're on the same. It's funny. I know you had said, "Oh, she's not dead." I think she still is, but I think she is dead because you see the Cyberman suit fall, like after the Doctor, goes through that fight with the other Cybermen, and everything explodes into fire, which that scene really got me because the Doctor is laying on the ground and looking up, and he's like, "Oh, I'd hope there would have been stars." And you just see, the explosion and the fire going on. It's like that would figure. He always talks about how, I think too much like a warrior. Oh, doing all of this. I'm not a peacekeeper. I'm a warrior. And he seemingly gets a warrior's death. He's surrounded by explosions and fire. But past that, when Bill goes to travel with the other girl, and she's in the suit standing over the Doctor, upset obviously that he seems like he died in the fight, and the suit falls backwards and onto the ground, and then Bill is now seemingly standing outside of it.
Yeah, but you have to understand. She said, "How did you do it?" Okay, look.
Yeah.
If you're trying to say that she died and that's just their way of saying it regardless of what Kate
No.
said, or Katie, or whatever her name was, said. No, because what Katie or Kate said was, I can manipulate atoms. Literally,
Right.
I am your god now. Pray to me, silly
He can
human.
manipulate energy.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's the reason why the Cybermen thing fell is because either parts of Bill were in there, or the most important part, obviously, was her brain. Bum, bum, bum. So, her brain was in there. So, when you take that out of there, it's literally just a husk of metal.
Okay. All right, I'll give you that. That's possible. I just felt it was more of she's dead as if you think of it in the physical sense, but she's on a different plane. We're dead, but there's more to it than just lights out. They're kind of on a different plane of existence, is what I thought.
Well, I think they were going for both, maybe. And that's why she'll never see the Doctor again, because now they're going, well, because here's the thing, right? Technically, Katie, Catherine, she can, the pilot, she can make Bill into anything she wants to. So if Bill was like, I want to fly, it's like, and now you are a bird. So, technically she made her into whatever it is that they're floating through the universe, just existing together. Which, by the way, would be cute if they were an actual couple. Could we have just fucking made them a couple in the first episode? Because, let's be real here, man. Let's be a little bit real here. The fact that, she liked her, but then it turned into this, in other words, she became the pilot, and then she was technically, creeping on her a little bit, and whatever, and all that happened, and everything like that. With all of that, can we just say that it kind of feels like she is traveling with her stalker? She married or she's dating her, you know what I'm saying? Does it feel weird that, literally she knew her for 5 seconds, and then she became the pilot, and then it was no, she cared about you. It's yeah, but they just fucking met. But, it made sense at the time. Okay, fair enough, it amplified those feelings, fine, right? But now it's just hey, remember me? Oh, my God, you were in, the first 2 episodes. I was. Anyway, so travel through space and time? By the way, it doesn't make Bill look well, because I know that she might think the Doctor is dead, I guess, but it kind of feels like she's ditching him. If she had said, smell you later, it would have been yeah, just like Gary from Pokemon.
I mean,
it kind of felt like she was just ditching him. I guess the Doctor never mentioned regeneration, so she wouldn't think that he'd come back.
Right. And she, the idea when she leaves, she's I don't know. I guess it's the opportunity arose itself that she could see her again, and she'd been through a lot, so she wanted to. And that, she says to the Doctor, she says, goodbye, you can't go yet, old man. The universe still needs you,
which, by the way, is nearly a direct quote from Stephen Moffat's parody.
Oh, my God.
No, it is.
Well, then there you go. You have it right there. All the holes and everything that doesn't seem right, it's because Moffat is writing out his last fantasy of just turning the show into a giant parody before he leaves and giving the last finger to the entire fan base.
No, that's not it, because he still has Christmas. But he's still...
Oh, all right. So that's going to be the icing
Christmas
on the
special.
cake. Right. Yeah.
Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
God. I bet you know what they're going to do? They just tease the Christmas special, and it just, when it comes on, it's supposed to air, it's just Stephen Moffat flipping you off on screen for like an hour. It's just a still image of that, and then they play the credits.
No, it's going to be 12 stabbing the first Doctor going, your time is over, old man.
Oh, God.
And he's gonna
It
put on
ended just like it
sunglasses and
always was
walk away.
supposed to, by me stabbing me in the back. Wait, what?
By me stabbing me in the front. Wait,
He
what?
pulls off his
There's
face and
honor
it's
among
Missy.
doctors. Oh, my God. The first Doctor is Missy. It's just, Missy has always been the Doctor.
Dear God. Oh, God.
Missy just regenerates into the first Doctor. Anyway, look,
you wanted to talk about them.
Yeah, I do. Let's just focus on them, because I was going to start going on another Bill rant. It's like, not now, Matt. We'll save that for later. We'll sandwich that in later.
Well, you might as well get
Let's
it
just focus
out.
on the Masters. No. It's just like, it makes her feel weird that she went to the next best thing. Granted, you're right, she thought he was dead. But, like, at the same time, she was like, no, but you can't die now. So it's like, wait, so then are you giving him a pep talk? Like, it really felt like it was like, well, we paid her all this amount. Like, we paid her the amount, and she's not under contract anymore, so we really got to get her off set. So that's what she's going to do. Like, I don't know, it just didn't make sense. Like you even said that it felt out of place and felt, like, completely out of nowhere. And that, like, out of nowhere as in having Catherine Catharshan, whatever the pilot, show up again.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it felt like it was just...
I guess the idea is, like,
yeah.
I'm happy, like Bill gets to be happy in a sense, and that's how they wrapped it up with her, instead of her just
Yes.
dying.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. You're very right. I'm happy she's happy. I'm happy the character's happy. But I feel like it would have felt exactly the same if it was the reverse, where, like, if we had given her a super duper happy moment in the beginning and then had her get shot through the chest at the end. Like, I feel like it was too much of an out of nowhere high. Then in the same way that in the beginning of
I was screaming at the screen, as soon as that happens, I'm like, so you're going to fix this, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. I feel like Anthony Toto, right, because you said you were watching this with Anthony, who's a fellow Let's Player podcaster that we've worked with. I feel like that gave Anthony Toto a seizure.
In a way.
Did he start convulsing?
I wouldn't say convulsing, but he looked over at me like, because he had seen it already, because he watched the premiere, and I was just yelling at the screen. He's like, yeah.
Right, because you had seen this right around the time, a day or two after episode 12 came out.
Yeah.
So he had seen it when episode 11 came out, because he's watching them weekly. So to him, he's just like, that's how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, there's an on-demand service that we caught it on afterwards, so.
Mhm. Yeah. That's funny. That is really funny, though. Oh, man. So, what I was going to... God, that's beautiful. But no, what I'm saying that, like, the low is so low, and then the high is so high that it's just like, the low, to be fair, it didn't have to have a reason in the sense that, look, would the Doctor have changed anything if he was there instead of Missy? Maybe, but it technically wasn't Missy or the Doctor's fault. It's just that because the Doctor wasn't there, he wasn't there to immediately smooth things over. But even then, it wasn't either one of their faults. The only thing that was the
I mean,
doctor's fault, and this, yeah.
In
What do
the
you want?
moment, like I felt like he was a little bit cocky with the idea
Yes.
of, she's in your
to be
care.
fair, yes.
So like when he was trying to talk the guy down, and it's like they're completely on edge, and the elevator is getting closer. It's like, why are you not standing in the way? I mean, he was in front of him, but he was not in front of the gun itself.
No, yes. Yes, that is a problem. I think the thing is that usually him pressing his thumb down makes it work better.
Right.
Because the speech that he gave, like, I'm the doctor, I will show up and yada, 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 that usually doesn't, that usually is a good thing. Like, everyone's like,
backfire.
oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't backfire.
No pun
literally.
intended.
But, pun intended. My only problem is that the doctor seems like he immediately, and not immediately, but like really quickly. It didn't take him that long to figure out, oh shit, time. But what about it? Just time, right? Like the doctor has run around for so many things in the past, right? That he didn't know that the Cybermen were down there. He didn't know a lot about what was going on. All he knew was these people took her and they're going to repair her, but God knows what they're going to do in the process.
Yeah.
So, right, the fact that he thought, oh, I have to explain to this guy. Like, no, fuck it. Like, dude, you stay here. We're going to go down there.
Right.
They're not coming for you, so it won't matter. Goodbye. But the fact that he had to give a long fucking doctor speech, and the guy that already shot her is like, yeah, look, I don't get it, and I don't give a shit. And it's like, well, then I guess I'm going to have to harm you? Like, what the I don't know. Like, I just felt as if.
Granted,
I just felt as if.
I feel like the doctor gave the explanation more for the audience, too. Which is to say, I guess then that's not a very good explanation then, because it ultimately took too much time and diverted away from saving Bill. So
my thing is this, right? That's why I said he can give it on the run. And now let's say he's running, and then the elevator doesn't work. Like, oh no, we can't access it somehow or whatever. Maybe we can access that one, and then we run to a different one. Like, I would be happy with still pictures of them running or something, trying to find an elevator that works. I know some people might be like, well, that's bullshit. But, like, that's better to me. That's less bullshitty to me than him being like, oh, my God, time moves faster up here than it does, well, technically down there, than it does up here. That means that down there, years can go by, while up here, it could only be a minute. Doctor, what are you doing? I'm just marveling. Doesn't it look lovely up there? Oh, looks so beautiful. Look at that star. Such a nice star. We should save Bill.
Right.
Oh, yes, Bill. Like, the doctor taking that long, it's like, doctor, I know that you're an old man at 12, but seeing you old as 1 makes me remember, like, God, William Hartnell was old. Like, I get it, right? I get it. Peter Capaldi's old, but man, was William Hartnell old. I know it wasn't William Hartnell playing the first Doctor because he sadly passed away a very long time ago. But still, like, but seeing the first Doctor just reminded me of what I've seen of William Hartnell, and I'm like, oh my, like he was so old. So like, this is a Doctor that can run. So run.
Right.
Just the fact that he was like, let me explain everything to you. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just talk about quantum theory. And it's like, Doctor, what is 2 + 2? 5. No, Nardole, it's actually 4. Oh, man, this is fun. Doctor!
Like, now is not the time.
Now is not the time for simple arithmetic. He knew. If he didn't know, if he was like, and granted, someone would say, no, but he didn't know at first. Yes, but the second he figured it out, he was like, let me give a long-winded explanation. I understand the idea that, like you said, he's cocky at first, and that's terrible. But there's a difference between, like, when you're cocky and then your friend gets shot, you either get cockier in terms of I'm going to attack and not think, or, like, you start to think, which is what the Doctor
Right.
technically did. But I feel like his version of thinking was still somehow cocky. Like, Doctor, run down there, you know. No, but I have to explain it to him. Why? Well, I need him to fight with us. Doctor, if it takes that long anyway, tell him to run with you. And if he says no, well, he's not going to shoot you because, again, they're not coming for him. So it doesn't matter. Also, I do think that, like you said, though, this involves his cockiness. He should have been like, Bill, get in the TARDIS. Don't worry about what this guy says.
Right.
Like, what did he
he
expect
was
to pop out of the elevator?
saying
Little
that I can
Karibos?
get her out of here.
He did say it, but he didn't actually put her in the TARDIS. Like, what did he expect to come up with? Little Karibos? Like, if that guy wasn't going to kill her, then they could have. So to me, it was. But again, you said that he was cocky, and I get that early on. But the fact that he didn't run downstairs, like, I love that he did the judo flip because that was something the Third Doctor did, and and I've seen the Third Doctor, and I loved seeing that come back. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But what?
We don't have time for this.
Yeah, we don't have fucking time for this. That's my thing. Like, we fucking don't have time for this shit. But let's get back to the Masters. So I loved them, and I think that it was a very smart idea to say that the Masters, like, I don't know if I don't know if the same thing happens with the Doctors, but it would make sense. But like, the Doctors get together, their sense of justice, if you want to use the word justice, their sense of righteousness, their sense of right is amplified because they're both the Doctor. But it makes sense that, when the Masters are together, it isn't just like, we want to be devious because we're devious. No, just who we are is amplified. So someone like Missy who is like, I want to help you, but when I'm around him, it's worse.
Right.
Because literally she knocked out the Master, and that's when she was like, no, I've been on your side for for this whole time, mostly.
Yeah. Is that really true?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
I love it.
I need to know.
But like, it's like, yeah,
did you really mean that?
Yeah. No, but it's interesting because, again, she knocks the other Master out, and then she's the Missy that we've seen this past series. When the Master is awake again, she's like, "Oh, what was that, Doctor? You said that you'd bring us down? Okay." And then just leaves him there. It's such an interesting concept. Also, apparently the fact that like your regenerations are looked at as like your sister, not like a different version of you. No, because when Master was like, "Is it wrong?" and Missy was like, "Yeah." And then later on, he calls her sis, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess it's looked at as, no, it's still you. Like, it's another version of you, like a sister, because it's a carbon copy, essentially. So it's like a sister, not like, another Time Lord.
Yes. Right.
I
thought it was just kind of a passing comment, but because I thought of it more
at first
as
it was
the
a joke.
Master's just ultimate narcissism. It's like, of course he loves himself.
Oh, no, he's essentially...
Or herself.
Oh, no, he's Zamasu, dude.
Yeah. Oh, God.
No, it is. It's confirmed that Stephen Moffat is a huge fan of Dragon Ball Super at this point. It has to be.
Okay.
Like, for Christmas, they're just going to have a Universal tournament.
Okay. Oh, God. All the Doctors and all the Masters are going to fight each other in one-on-one combat, and the winner will be the next Doctor. Wait, what?
I can't get no. I'm done. Good God, it's Doctor Who, but with the Dragon Ball Super opening. No, we're not mixing shows. Anna Saturdays on Saturdays. No, Super Who. Oh God.
No, we can't
Doctor
go back,
Who
Matt.
Super.
You've opened this box. Now you get to feel the consequences.
Oh God, no. Jesus H. Christ, no. Please, God, no.
Everything wipes out and time is
here.
rewritten, and you wake up and here we are having the cast, but you see on the screen it's just what we've been describing.
No, fuck that, no. Anyway, look, I'm just trying to say that I feel like at first it was a passing comment, it was funny, But then when he called her sis later, I was like, why would he call her sis? And like he could just he could say, come on me, or come on you, or come on, like obviously not sweetie, I guess, but like I don't know, like the fact that he said sis, I was like, oh, so then maybe like if even though you're not supposed to, if you see your own regeneration, it's you. So like it's essentially your DNA, but not you. But you. No, because it's not like when the Doctor regenerates, it's like, oh, hey, I don't know, like I guess technically he could have a non-working like kidney or something, right? But like it's still him. We've discussed this. Certain things are different. But when it comes to like the like it's still, it's not like he'll be like, I was the Doctor, but now I'm the Master. Like no, he's still the Doctor. Right? So it's still you, just essentially. Like it's like, in a way, it's like if the Doctor had a bunch of fraternal twins. Or fraternal, like, you know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying by this?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, obviously, yeah. So that's why he calls her sis. And I was like, wait, what? But yeah, it was such an interesting concept to have both of them. And I feel like a lot of people did not enjoy, I don't know about you, did not enjoy the fact that Missy was the cause of the Master regenerating. But I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it's because, I don't know how to describe it, but it feels very this show. And
yeah.
I think it just reinforces the idea of, because, that version of the Master, after the Doctor gives what I would say one of his best speeches that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
About just being kind. I don't do this because it's easy or because it's right or because I want to beat somebody or, all that. I do it because it's kind and because maybe, just maybe, I'll save somebody. And the Master just walking up, he says, remember this and remember it well. This is the face that didn't hear a word you just said. And he walks out. And you can see Missy's face. She's conflicted the whole time because she's fighting against her own nature versus truly wanting to help out her friend, because she's even said it multiple times throughout, the time that we've seen her. She's like, yeah, me and the Doctor are friends. Yes, we try and kill each other, and, it's just kind of our calling card. That's what we do when we get together and hang out. It's like we talk about, how the universe works, and we try to outsmart each other, and usually that ends up in, death-defying stunts, but yeah.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
it's the idea that she's forcing herself. It's like looking herself in the face or in the mirror and saying, you know what, might as well go for it. I already set it up accidentally. You need to make a change. It's time to make a change.
Yeah. But I want to say that, yeah, I think that the Master shooting the Master, Missy shooting the Master, I don't see a problem with that at all. I think that even though it makes sense, the reason how he the way he got out was bullshit. I think, like I say out as in when it's like, well, how did you escape the Time Lords? Well, they wanted me gone, I wanted me gone, so we made me gone. It's like, really. So you were the only one that was able to escape, unless, hear me out,
the Doctor escaped them too.
They're trying to. No. But
times.
If you remember, the Master got sealed away with them.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but the Doctor didn't get away. Like,
I mean
back
more of 12
where they were supposed to be
when he comes back.
No. But yes, no. But what I mean is, but when 12 came back, they were in the universe. They were there. Like 12 didn't go into the sealed away pocket dimension that they were in. They were actually like the Time Lords exist again.
Right.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
so like unless they're saying,
I think it's yes and no. I don't think they're exactly back in the universe the way it's supposed to be, but they're not sealed away per se.
Yes. I'm just trying to say that, like, unless you're saying that in this new version of them, like wherever they are, he escaped them, and then Missy came about through this or whatever. Fine, but and if also he hadn't been going around, like he just did this afterwards, like he literally went from, oh, I got away from them, now I'm gonna fuck with the doctor, and then did this, fine, or like I crashed accidentally while leaving, cool, but I think it's weird. I don't know. I feel like it's just like if they were completely sealed away the way that they were from Davies, and it's like, oh, we wanted him gone, so we only kicked him off, but we're all fine being sealed. It's like, no, you guys aren't. What the fuck? Like, that's my thing. Like, it feels very much like, well, we had that. Like, unless you're saying once they were unsealed or somewhat a part of the universe, that is when the Master got out. But it doesn't matter because obviously the second the Master got out, that's when these time travel shenanigans happen. Because Master has a TARDIS, so he can do anything.
Right.
But, yeah. But I'm saying that if they were sealed away, it wouldn't matter if you had a TARDIS or not because all the other Time Lords did. Like, they all could have traveled. So, like, yeah, that's my only problem with not only – it's not even Moffat's fault. It's just Davies even just like saying, oh, I didn't like what I did with the two-part finale, right? Because it's like, yeah, you sealed them away. That was weird. One thing I would like to say, though, is because this is going to be Moffat's last Christmas special, I would actually like it to be a two-part finale like Davies had. What I would.
What, for the Christmas being the second part? Or?
Yeah. No, first part. Remember, Davies did Christmas and then New Year's.
Oh, I see.
You remember that, don't you? Part 1 was with the Master, and then Part 2 was with, it was still the Master, but it was like Master. Yeah, Part 1 was like, was when the Master took over. Which, by the way, I love when he was like, you have to wear this disguise, being someone's former prime minister. And I was like, God damn it, Harold Saxon.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. But I have to say, though, I would have preferred that they stood together. But as like an anti-hero, like, look, I'm doing this to save my own ass, and because I have to be the one to kill you. Like,
right.
I know, like, because, like, Missy said, oh, I want to be the one to kill you, but to me that comes off as bullshit. The Master, I could truly believe in being like, no, I want to be the one to kill you.
Right.
Like, literally, I will kill you right now, old man. But, I don't know. Like, I feel strange about the Master. Granted, I still like that the showdown happened, and I think that it was necessary, at least for, like, I say it necessary because, again, like, when would you show him again? Like, if you said, oh, no, he's coming back, I'd be like, all right, I'm down. But if he's not coming back ever, yeah, kill him off, and then that's how he transitioned into Missy. My only problem is that he shot Missy, and I'm a little nervous that because Moffat's gone, they're going to regenerate her. And because he's leaving, I worry that she's going to regenerate into someone who doesn't care about being someone who works with the Doctor as much as Missy was.
Right.
Like, I'm worried they're going to revert all of this.
That might be possible.
Granted,
but
I'm not saying that I was a fan of... Yeah.
I don't think we'll see, Missy or any incarnation of the Master for a while yet. I mean, I could be wrong.
Fair enough.
I get the feeling, it's going to be a while. And that's the other thing.
I agree too.
When he's like, oh, you're not regenerating after this one. It's like, well, bullshit. Because I'm sorry, but the character of the Master is just as important as the Doctor in this series. You don't just kill that character off. You can take a break, like we've had, and not see them for a while. But that is a long-running character that always needs their return.
Well, that's why I do think that after that shot of him saying you're not going to regenerate, that just means that she's going to be okay somehow. Like, I don't know
All
how,
right.
but that just means that she's going to escape just fine. Like, Nardal's going to be like, yeah, I went up there, and she was just there, so I brought her back down. Or some shit like that. Like, I think she's going to be alive and well. My only problem is if this is how they leave Nardal, because while I do feel like in a way it's kind of cute because it's very much classic Who to just leave a companion somewhere and never come back for them again.
Right.
But I really think that with the way current Who is gone, it would be really shitty if the Doctor never even mentions Nardal again.
It's funny. I almost feel like he'd turn into like what me turned into, Ashilda. You know, I pop in on him every once in a while and check on how he's doing. He curses me out every time, saying, "How dare you leave me with these flesh bags?" But yeah, we're on good terms.
Yeah. The only reason why I feel weird about that is because, again, the thought is the Cybermen are still coming back for you.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to love, like, Neo-Cybermen that are, like, so Cybermen that they're like, actually, we're just normal humans, and we want to live lives as biological beings. That's how evolved we are. And it's like, everything goes full circle, doesn't it?
It'll be like the opposite of what Bill was doing. It's like subconscious, like her mind was shielding her from the fact of you're not in your body anymore. It'll be the Cybermen looking at themselves and being like, no, I look like a human. It'll be like perception, but in the opposite way. They look at themselves and don't see as Cybermen, but they are. They see a human. And then somebody else will be like, no, you're a tin can.
Wait.
And then the programming comes back and it's like, oh God, I'm a murder machine.
No, I think it should be reversed. They're like, we're Cybermen, but we look in the mirror and we're human. Like, or I'm sorry, reverse. Like, no, like they're literally human, but they look in the mirror and they're Cybermen.
Oh, jeez. Well,
like, look,
wouldn't
we're
that
just
be a
like
problem
that.
when they try to shoot their laser and nothing comes out?
That would be hilarious. Why are there no lasers coming from my head? You don't have that head apparatus. No. Beep. But still, I'm just saying that, like, I feel weird if the Doctor leaves them because there is this idea. Granted, I'm not saying I want like a full like next series or even like Christmas devoted to him trying to go back necessarily.
Yeah.
But because again, time travel exists. But I do think that leaving them there, it's very open-ended because like if they had said no, the Doctor will, the Cybermen will feel weird and will want to move elsewhere and leave this ship. That would seem strange.
The Cybermen
okay.
will feel weird next time at Christmas.
Yes. The Cybermen will reprise their role as weird. But it feels strange to me that, like, when you have Nardal being like, oh, yeah, no, like, they're going to come back and kill us, right? Not in those exact words. But then, like, just we're never going to see him again. And it's like, so they all died? Also... I have to say, I have to really, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I really want to focus on the fact that I love the concept of time moving slower when you get, or technically faster when you get lower, right? Slower when you're higher up. I love that concept so much because the idea that, like, you sent down 10 people and they never returned. No, they just couldn't get back up, so they started a colony. Like, that is crazy that you as people, like, once you get to the bottom of the ship or the lower levels, you now have people that have been living for hundreds of years. That's fucking like, humanity has evolved down there. We're not talking about the Cybermen, right? Humanity has evolved down there for what they believe are hundreds of years. Because this dude has been traveling up there for maybe, like, what, like 2 days? 3 days?
Right.
How fucking crazy is that?
See, now that's the funny part. That's the part I wasn't that, like, enthused about the whole time because they were being affected by the black hole. If half the ship was in the black hole and the other ship, like the other half was out of the black hole, maybe. But just because they were, near it, because I mean, okay,
They were
I
real
don't
close.
know the specifics. Yes, I know, but not enough for me. I feel like.
But if they were in a black hole, then the ship would. Okay, first off, obviously, I think arguably, it's bad science either way compared to like real science. But I think if the ship was in the black hole, then it wouldn't be believable because you would think the ship is either. I know, that's the point, fiction. But I'm just saying that, like, even then, though, if the ship was in the black hole, you just assume that they'd be pressurized and crushed, or they'd be on the other side of, if you're trying to use it as a tunnel, right, which isn't true, but, like, if you were trying to say, oh, you'd be transported elsewhere, then they'd be elsewhere. So unless you're saying they're in the portion that would be, quote-unquote, in a black hole, then that would still be, I don't know. Like, the ship would be bigger, and that would be weird to say, because, like, they'd be like, wait a minute, we got stuck in a black hole? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like being near the black hole and slowly approaching it.
Well,
it's like,
all right. I mean, for me, it feels like being half in and half out would cause more of a distortion, whereas just being near it. Because then
Fair
half
enough.
the ship is still trying to pull itself back out, while the other half is slowly still is actually in and experiencing. Because I'm not sure about time, but I know at least space and light are distorted for something within the event horizon of a black hole. So that's just my take.
Well, yes. Also, to be fair, it's not that time was faster, it's not like time was slower down there, technically. It's that time was, that's what I was trying to say earlier, and I got mixed up. Time is faster near the black hole. Do you see what I mean?
Well,
so, like, time was only
weird.
slower because it was away from the hole. Like, in other words, arguably. Okay.
But that's not how they described it in the episode.
Oh, then maybe they flipped it.
Yeah, because when they're watching it, like when Bill is with the disguised master, which was, that kicked me straight in the head, because I was like, oh, I kind of like his character. He's watching after Bill. And then he starts talking to Missy, and I'm like, please stop. Please stop what you're doing right now. God damn it!
I got pissed.
Like disguises?
You know why I got pissed?
I love disguises.
You motherfucker! You know what? I got pissed because I saw Old Who, and I know that he liked disguises, but it's been years since I've seen it, so I forgot.
Right.
Just straight up forgot. So, and you know what really pisses me off? I knew that the Master was going to appear because I was spoiled because of the internet. Yeah, but we didn't know how. So, like, you had to, like, think
back.
What I love. Was Anthony looking at me?
That's what I love about
Was Anthony looking at me weird the entire time? Was Anthony looking at me weird, right? Like, was he looking every time I was like, I like that character? Did he just not say anything?
Well, because it's funny. I think I had said to him, like, oh, I bet, it's like, I like this character. He's going to die. Oh, no, he doesn't die. Something worse. I'm like, oh.
Well, wait. Anthony lied to you because he did die.
Fuck you.
I know. Hey, he got shot by Missy.
Yes.
Oh my God. But seriously though, what were you going to say? You're talking about the description of it in the episode.
Bill was watching the TV. Time was passing faster for them down there because she was watching it on the television screen. It's like, oh, his eye twitched. Look, the eyebrow twitched. That means he's making a joke. It's like, oh, that's been on the TV for 10 months. Yes, I know. It's like...
Well, no. I mean, yes, it's up to your perspective. Technically, it's slower up there because they're near the black hole, which is kind of interesting because, like, it kind of mirrored, I guess, real life, where in real life, if you're on Earth but you live at a higher altitude, apparently, like, your body ages less, quote unquote, than if you are at a lower altitude. Like, there have been some studies done that, like, people that live in higher mountain areas have not only lived for longer, but in some ways they've lived better, strangely enough, than people that are, like, lower and closer to the Earth. Very weird stuff. But I'm just saying it more so that, like, yes, technically it's moving faster for them down there, technically. And it's slower for everyone up there. I'm just saying that, like, I guess perspective is that time is going naturally for everyone on the lower end and slower for everyone on the upper end is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Yes. Because, I mean, again, maybe it's just me, but, like, that's how it seems to me, where, like, it's not as if it's speeding up for everyone down there, right? It's not as if it's like it's going times 100 or something like that down there. It's just
Right.
that when you are closer to the black hole, everything slows down.
Okay.
But yeah. Either way, I love the Masters. I do feel weird with them not standing together, and then maybe getting into a fight later. Like, I know it might make more sense. Like, no, but that version of the Master would want to leave the Doctor to die. But again, I feel like that version of the Master, from what I remember, would want to be the one to shove the knife into him.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, yeah. Like, it feels like that Master, maybe he's changed as well, but that Master had a very, like, prideful mentality of, like, no, I want to be the one to kill you. Now, technically, he made the Cybermen that would kill the Doctor, but
Right.
still, I don't know. It feels weird that he would be like, no, to me anyway, they'd be like, no, I'll just run away.
Well, I feel like at that point, I feel like the very bottom line of the Master's character is his own survival. So he will put
True.
his own survival above killing the Doctor.
Fair enough.
So at that point, he's just like,
I'll give you that.
I can come back and kill you whenever the fuck I want. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yes. Also, interesting that he just, I mean, granted, Bill said that it was a version of the Doctor, so I guess we couldn't see him freak out when he first heard. Because it's interesting to me that, like, he didn't really freak out. Like, he was just like, yeah, another version of the Doctor, whatever. Like, it feels like even with the Master, sometimes he's just like, oh, you're a new version, right? But, like, it felt as if he was just like, yeah, same old shit, it's you again. But I was very happy to see him back, though. I really like John Sim. I just want to say I'm such a huge fan of his work in Doctor Who. I haven't seen much of his work outside of Doctor Who, although I remember that he was in a show called Cracker, Cracker being the word, I think, for detective. Or, no, a hard-to-crack case in the UK. So there was a show in the 90s called Cracker. And it's very interesting. Robbie Coltrane, I think Robbie Coltrane is his name, Hagrid, was on the show as well. And also, funny enough, Eccleston was also on the show. And it was a very good show. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, sadly. But it was a fun show, and John Sim plays a random character of the week. And I think he was a hoodlum. He was a hooligan. But so I've really only seen him there in Doctor Who, but I really love his Doctor Who work as the Master, and it's kind of sad that they killed him off here after this cameo. But frankly, even just giving him one cameo is more than I ever thought they would give him.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. But apparently, I didn't know this. Apparently, magazines spoiled the fact that he was going to be the Master again months in advance, or like BBC spoiled it or something like that. Now, I thankfully never heard of this, but it's bullshit either way.
Hey everybody, so we actually got cut off. Funny story, I actually set the podcast for 15 minutes, and somehow, even though, like, obviously we recorded it in advance, but the podcast ended in 15 minutes, and somehow we still did, like, an after show, I guess, according to Blog Talk Radio, for another hour and some odd. But eventually, Blog Talk Radio sat back and went, you've been going on for, like, an hour longer than you should have, according to a 15-minute show. So we got cut off. Now, you guys may notice this as, like, an abrupt change in what we were talking about or how we talk, how we were talking. And it's kind of funny because I think this is the best way to, I guess, mimic Doctor Who in podcast form. For you guys, it's been only minutes, but for us, it's been days. Only seconds, actually. So, yeah, so Tristan sounds like he's on a phone because he is, and I'm currently recording with my home setup. But yeah, so Tristan, we were just talking about, to everyone else, we were just talking about the fact that, sadly, there was a magazine, I believe, it might have been a BBC official magazine, that spoiled the Master's return, or at least John Sim as the Master. And, I mean, thankfully I avoided that. I believe you did too. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw some stuff online about it, but, like, that's all I saw was, like, he's back, and I'm like, well, all right, that's great, but I didn't know how or why, and honestly, I felt the episode did a very, very good way of actually introducing him into the episode, because for the longest time, the episode was going on, I'm like, so I know he's supposed to appear, but where the fuck is, oh my god, why?
Yes, you mentioned that last time, and I also want to say that, although it's funny, last time, although to some only a few moments ago. No, but seriously, what I want to say is, I noticed that too. I was spoiled as well, but closer to this closer to this episode or these last two episodes, some people, I believe, they were spoiled in the beginning of the series that he would be making a return. So thankfully, you and I were able to, I believe, skip through that. But as this episode started coming up, that's when we noticed some stuff online, especially because you and I didn't see it live.
Right.
So what I just want to say about this is, I've complained a lot about this two-parter, and I know that, you've talked to me both during this show, during this newer part that we're finishing up, and even just in the break between it both, right? In between this recording, you've told me that, you feel as if even though it may not have been a good end for her, it was still an end. Like, it is okay to have characters that just come in briefly and then we kind of see them out, right?
Yeah.
I just want it to be a better end. That's all I'll say about it, right? I mean, I know we can go on and on and on, and we kind of already did in the, last part that we recorded. And I know that, you feel as if, like I said, there are, every character has their end, and some aren't supposed to be here for 2.5 series, right? Or 3 series, or even more than 1 series. I just wish that her end wasn't so rushed. And I hope that we see more of Bill because of how rushed this end was.
Right.
Like, I think it would be super duper weird if this is the end of Bill and Nardole.
Yeah.
That's just my thing. Like, it was so rushed that it just seems weird that the Doctor would never return either for Nardole, or that a Doctor who hasn't regenerated yet would just be like, oh, Bill, what's the whole thing with that person? I don't remember that much. It's like, no, like, yes, she wasn't a Clara to him necessarily, or, or an Amy, or a Rose, but still, like, that was his companion that he traveled with, that he was teaching. He was her teacher. He was, he has a duty of care. So it just feels strange that, I mean, we don't know anything about the Christmas special yet, but I do hope that they don't just drop her completely, because it's not like a Clara situation. The Doctor hasn't forgotten about Bill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm on both, like, I'm on the fence about it, I guess you could say. Because, like, I definitely agree with you. Like, I feel like I wanted her to keep going, and I didn't necessarily want her to end like this, but, like, ending, like, how they wrote the ending aside, it felt, and not the idea that I wanted to see Bill go. Of course I don't, but it's kind of that bittersweet moment of remembering different characters throughout this series, because some of them are in for just a short period of time, and it's like, you love them for that short period of time, and, you kind of feel robbed when their time is cut short, or, they're written off, or they die, or whatever. But in this case, Bill kind of feels like the character that stumbles into the Doctor's life and is a reminder to him that, yeah, you used to have fun traveling the galaxy and just poking in and out. Like, it was for the fun and the adventure of it. And yeah, you usually get wrapped up into some pretty nasty shit and bad things happen, but you got to remember that the fun times, the reason why you do this. And I feel like that's, it's short, it's sweet, it's tragic, but that's Bill's story. She kind of comes in to remind him, like, remember to have fun with it sometimes too,
I understand. I just, it just sucks that she is that character, though, right? Like, I understand. Like, I'm happy that she was able to have fun with the Doctor. We were able to have fun with the Doctor because things just didn't seem fun anymore with Clara at some point, and it wasn't Clara's fault. It's just things just didn't seem fun. They seemed too much. Every episode seemed like it was the end of the world, not the literal end of the world, but like every episode, we make jokes with Tennant with the whole Curse of the Time Lords thing, right? But it felt as if every episode, or at least, I don't want to say every episode because I sound like a dick, but it felt like a lot over the last 2 series. It's just Curse of the Time Lords, Curse of the Time Lords. Everything is ending now, and it's like it's not even a series finale. What's going on? Why is everything ending again all the time? So. So it does feel nice that in a way this felt like a beginning. I just think that, honestly, we should have just had a Bill character. Because I think it's going to be weird if we have now a new companion with a new Doctor. Because we already just had this kind of like new refresher course with Bill.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like this way, like, also in this way, we have 2 completely new characters, and it'll be both of them getting used to each other as we as the fan base get used to them as well.
True. Very true. But I also want to add, just to, not necessarily be a contrarian, but I want to point out that it's not even like Bill got to see much of old Who, that she didn't have more learning to, like, she still could have had more run-ins with, like, or a full-on official run-in with a Dalek, for instance.
Right. Oh, yeah, and, like, I even, I said the same thing, too, like I mentioned it, earlier in this cast, that, it's not like her carrying on as a companion into a new Doctor would really present much problem, because she's still a pretty clean slate as characters go for this series.
So it would be interesting if they brought her back. I'm not sure they're going to go for that. I don't want to sit there hoping for anything, because I'm sure I would love whatever next companion rolls through.
Right.
But it would be interesting if she kind of made a return, like, "Hey, I traveled across the world. How you doing, Doctor?" Or world, i.e., galaxy, universe. But because again, according to the way the show makes it seem, she has a body whenever she chooses to. Still don't know what's up with that. But yeah, right. Like, still kind of sitting back, like, I guess that's what's going on. I'm unsure. But yeah, I just want to say that I really enjoyed Bill's run, and I hope there's more. But if there isn't, then I would hope there'd be more in the future. Because again, it's a really odd send-off. And it's funny because this is Doctor Who we're talking about here. But they still found a way.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea how Moffat found a way, despite the fact that this show is Doctor Who, to make a send-off so weird that the man, and the man being me, that watches Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, all that stuff, it's just sitting here and like, it's a little weird. It's me, Tristan.
Right.
And but yeah, I honestly don't know what else to say about this other than, I hope for the best. Thankfully, Christmas is not that far away.
Yeah.
And I do wonder what we're going to get. I do know that, and I don't think we mentioned this on the cast thus far, although we may have, we apparently have the first Doctor.
Yeah.
Which, what? Well, no, it's just super confusing. And it's funny. Originally, I got shivers. I was freaking out because I've seen pretty much I've seen every serial of the first Doctor that was completed. I haven't seen any of the newly, the revisions, animated stuff, or any of the audio stuff that was recovered. I just watched the full original episodes, right? Anything that was complete, I watched it. So I love that they got the actor that played him in the documentary to play him here. My only thing is now after everything's worn off, I'm just kind of wondering why. I guess maybe it's like, oh, we want to take you back to your roots. But I don't understand why this doctor would need that. Like, I understand why the doctor before this series needed to see one again. But I don't know why the doctor at this point in his life, this 12th doctor in his life, needs to see one again.
Well, I feel like it has to do with his last few lines after he regains consciousness and is now, this whole idea of him refusing to regenerate. He's like, no, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep being someone else. Like the idea that, the doctor is the doctor, but each time he regenerates, there is this idea that he is losing something. That persona of the doctor, it is their end, even though he keeps going. Or the being known as the doctor keeps going, because it's not just he. I don't, like...
Yeah, I know. Well, so far,
Yeah.
so far it's been he. So you can say that.
From what we've seen, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So it's fine. You're not. There's nothing wrong with you saying that. What I do want to note is that, like, I know it's a relatively, I don't want to say it's a relatively Moffat thing, because obviously Davies wrote 10 to say I don't want to go, but I just want a doctor that just accepts it. Not that they like it, but I want one that accepts it, because I feel like it's just becoming a trope that now, like, every single doctor after 10 is just as if, like, I don't know, like, obviously other doctors haven't liked it either, but the reason why they haven't liked it is because I remember 3 or 2 wasn't a fan, because they being the Time Lords, forced him. So they, like, hit him with rays that forced him to regenerate. And I'm sure that's horrifying, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just feel like I remember when the 3rd passed on into the 4th. I know regenerated, but it really felt like he died. He, was basically gave this beautiful speech to Sarah Jane, and it felt so moving and so touching, but it didn't feel like this whole, like, I don't want to go. And I just want to have a doctor that, I'm not saying is all happy about it, like, kill me, baby. Like, I'm not saying I want that. But I am kind of, I don't know, looking forward to a doctor that says, well, it has to happen sometime. And 11 kind of did that, sort of.
Right.
Sort
and
of.
prolonging it as much as time lordly possible.
Exactly. It's kind of funny, too, because, someone might say to me, well, Matt, 11 did it. But, yeah, like you just said, after prolonging it for so long.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, like, I just thought that maybe 12 would be that doctor, because he's older. I know, granted, every doctor is old, but still, I felt like, having his character, even though he's trying to be cool, hip, and young, still, he's older, and I don't know, I thought maybe this would be the doctor that would go, look, I don't like it, but it's what has to be done. But just having him do it all over again, I don't know, like, I don't want to sit here through 3 more doctors, or 4 more, or 5 more, with each one saying, but no! Because I don't know, like, I'm not saying I wanted to die necessarily, but I wanted to skip a doctor.
Right. Well, I mean, I feel like 12 is probably going to get that. Like, I feel like this is why he's meeting with 1, because that whole line of, I don't want to change, and then the first thing that you hear the first doctor saying off in the distance, no, I won't change, he's talking about the same thing.
Yes.
So I feel like there's going to be some kind of connection and some kind of wrap-up where he reflects on himself, where when he actually does change again, there will be that sense of, it's okay.
What I find interesting is, I wonder if they're actually going to tie this into the serial when the first Doctor regenerates into the second one, because that's actually lost. And it has... Yes, it has not been found. It is lost footage. And I don't even believe there's audio for it, although don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But it is a lost serial. So basically for that one, I believe only parts like 1, 3, and a few minutes that have been somewhat restored of the final exist, because the final one is, of course, where he regenerates. So I wonder if they're actually... Because I believe it was an ice planet where he regenerated. So I do wonder if they're going to tie this in to that.
Right.
And that's kind of why, because I remember I believe I Don't Want to Change was part of his lines actually at one point, which is kind of funny because it's like, Matt, the Doctor's been complaining since the first one. Shut the fuck up. And I get it. Right? But again, not every single one has. That's all I'm saying. So I would like it after 12. If 13 is, again, I don't want 13 to say, Cowabunga, kill me, dog. Like, I don't, like, I'm not, can you shoot me like a jelly baby? Like, I don't want, him to embrace, like, him to, like, I'm okay with him embracing it, but not so much longing for it. Because then that gets really awkward. So that's just how I feel about it. I just feel as if that it would be best if if we could just have a Doctor who is somewhat okay with it. And I know it isn't as dramatic if the Doctor isn't screaming, tearing off his shirt, going, "Why, Time Lords, why?" But
I mean, I feel like the Doctor you can still have a dramatic effect when he's okay with it. Like you said, 11 kind of did hit on that, and that was one of the most, like, for me personally, that was one of the most beautiful regeneration speeches I've ever heard. So, granted, I haven't seen a lot of classic, but still, that one really resonates with me.
Right.
So, I feel like, he can have a regeneration where it's not, he's a little of both. He's melancholy about it because, well, I'm fucking dying, of course I am. But at the same time, it's like, I know things are going to work out for the next me to come along.
Yes. So I think I just want more of things are going to work out and less of I'm going to stop this for as long as I can. Now, again, I get it. I understand. But I just want there to be a bit more accepting in the future. So I hope a new writing staff, I don't want them to throw things out the window because I don't like when that happens either.
Right, yeah.
But I would like for a new writing staff to kind of change some things up. And I think we, have the opportunity of getting that. As the new Doctor, as everything unfolds. Funnily enough, so as we're recording this, apparently Peter Capaldi has had his last day on set.
Yeah.
So we don't know, again, I don't know what that means in terms of obviously we know we regenerated, but we don't know if that's at the Christmas special. We don't know if that's after. We assume it's at Christmas.
Right.
But we don't know much about what's going on. And we don't know if they're going to show who is replacing him. That's another thing that matters too.
Right. Yeah.
Is that for all we know, they're going to have him regenerate at the end of the special and then say, the Doctor will be returning in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-and-so as the Doctor will be returning. Yeah.
Well, no, they might not even show who so-and-so is. That's the thing. They might keep that a secret.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You never know.
Right.
All we know is that sadly it's Peter Capaldi's last day on set. I think the day before we're recording this last portion of the podcast. And it's a sad moment. But you know what? I mean, things change. I think it's just crazy to think that 11 was my first before going back to 9 and 10. So now it's like I've already gotten through 11. Now we've gone through 12.
Yeah.
And, now we're on 13. I think it's just crazy to me to think about that. I started watching this show 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And here we are now transitioning to a new Doctor that the internet will most definitely be angry about. I've heard a lot of backlash over potential future Doctors.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the bets being placed on who will take the role and who will reprise the role. And I've seen a few that I was like, all right, I could go for that. But, you never know until they are put on screen.
It's going to be Tennant again.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be Tennant again. It's going to be like, but wait a minute, but how? It's going to be like Curse of the Time Lords.
Okay.
And then Bill's going to get shot again, and she's going to regenerate into Rose.
Oh, my God.
And we're just going to have either that, or we're going to have Tennant. We're going to have another 10 traveling around with Clara again. Because it's new. It's a new doctor. So I'm sorry, Tristan. I feel like I've hurt Tristan. Are you okay? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay, you'll be fine. Are you regenerating right now?
Oh no! Oh no! I don't want to go.
You regenerate into me.
And I take the face off. Do you still like disguises?
Oh God, no! It was. I thought you regenerated into me, but really, you regenerated into you with a mask of me.
Because I would do that.
Because you fucking would.
If it was to fuck with you and I knew it was going to happen and that I'd, have another life on the other side of it, yeah, I probably would.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're just gonna wrap things up here. We want to thank you all for listening in. We want to apologize for this little end here and what happened with this, but I mean, it was still, you can still listen, right? It was still, this is still listenable. I was gonna say watchable. But yeah, so I just want to thank you guys for listening in, as always. We love you guys so much. Thank you for watching or listening to another episode of Doctor Who Wednesday. And tune in to more podcasts for the rest of this month, because we're still doing Halloween in July for every other podcast. Literally, this is the only podcast that we kept as Doctor Who without any kind of Halloween-y thing going on. Just everything else is just Halloween. So yeah, but we want to thank you guys, and for all you Doctor Who fans out there, we will either see you again at Christmas, or there is a good possibility that we'll try to jump into some other Doctor Who related media beforehand. I don't know what. I'm just throwing some stuff out there. I mean, we'll see. We have you, Tristan Walter. We also have Anthony Toto, who's a big fan of some of the novels and audiobooks. So, I mean, obviously we're going to jump back into Star Wars Wednesday. Otherwise, Tristan will shank me. But I mean, again, through those, we might even, we might jump back into Doctor Who in some form or another before Christmas. So stay tuned, and if you want to know where to find some of these podcasts, regardless of what they are, you can go over to our Facebook, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, our Twitter, which is @ThoseGuysRadio, and our Instagram, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. Also over at our main website, where we post everything, be it podcast related and be it Let's Play related, which is tgproduction.net. You can also get our merchandise over at tgproduction.net/merchandise, and over at our eBay, which is /USR/ThoseGuysRadio. And if you want to support us in any way, please do. We actually updated our Patreon, which is TG Productions, to add even more rewards, more cute little things you can get, questions you can ask that we can answer exclusively on the podcasts. Specific podcasts that we'll do that you say, it can be anything, a specific topic or a specific episode of something, or we'll also do, if you like our Let's Plays more, which by the way, Let's Plays, you can search them up on YouTube by finding, you can search up Those Guys Play on YouTube and find our Let's Plays. We can do specific episodes of Let's Plays with specific hosts, specific games, whatever it might be that you want us to do, we can do it. And also, I want to mention our podcasts. If you want to listen to some of our other podcasts specifically, you can go on our Blog Talk Radio account, which I'm assuming you're listening to us through right now, but maybe not, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. You can check out our iTunes by searching up Those Guys on iTunes, or our YouTube archives by searching up Those Guys on the Radio on YouTube. So thank you all for listening in, and say good night, Tristan.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everybody.